Hello, hello. It is me, Melanie Grace. How is the Quilty crew doing? I have been on vacation for the past couple weeks and I am finally back. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that I was on a cruise to Alaska. It was so much fun, so relaxing, and I am so glad I'm back. When I was on vacation, I went to, we stopped in Sitka, Skagway, Juneau, and Victoria, Canada. And when I was in Sitka and Skagway and Juneau, I went to quilt shops or whenever I could. And I believe it was in Skagway where I bought this beautiful quilt kit and it has adhesive applique. So I'm going to be putting that together. So please follow me on Instagram at the Melanie Grace because I cannot wait to show that to you. I also can't wait to make it. I have to make it before I show it to you. So we are in July, and I know that a bunch of other quilters are just like myself, where we like to call this Christmas in July. And what that means is it's time to start sewing for Christmas. We're going to be quilting fast, we're going to be quilting smart, and we're actually going to finish some of our gifts before December 25th. So stick with me. I'm going to share some of my time-saving tips, some product recommendations, and a little pep talk to get you motivated and crank out those quilts quickly. All right. And so if you're like me, sometimes you might say, oh, well, quilt those gifts later, or, I still have a couple months till Christmas. But when it is December, you don't want to be stitching on binding at 2 o'clock in the morning. So Christmas in July is your magical first chance to get ahead. Fabrics are easier to find, especially in quilt shops. The Christmas fabric has hit the shelves. You can find those. So it has no panic when you're trying to find the right batch of fabric. No shipping panic also. So you're not going to have any shipping delays because it's not Christmas ship crazy time. And you actually can enjoy the process of sewing instead of cursing at your sewing machine. Some of my time-saving tips are to batch your work. So a lot of us know about chain piecing. Before you even get to chain piecing, I would do kind of like chain cutting. I'm not even sure what the proper terminology would be for that, but to stack your fabric and make your cuts. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to be cutting more than 4 layers, make sure you replace that rotary blade, get a nice fresh blade on it, get a nice clean cut, and then do your chain piecing at your sewing machine. This is especially fun when you're doing half square triangles or just piecing blocks together. If you need information on chain piecing, I think I have a video on my YouTube channel, and I know you just Google chain piecing and there's tons of content for you to learn how to do that. Then prepare your quilt. So you can always prepare your quilting lines by marking your quilting lines. If you're just going to be using a walking foot, you can use one of those Hera markers, which puts like a pressure line in the fabric. I also have pounce pads for like chalk pouncing. And you put this, I don't even know what it's made of, this kind of like this blue sheet on top of your quilt, and there's white, blue, or pink colored chalk, and then you kind of pounce the chalk on the template, and then it comes a beautiful line on your quilt, and then you just quilt on those lines. It is so fun, so fast. Highly recommend. If you're just starting a brand new project, it is so great to use pre-cuts. Grab those jelly rolls, those charm packs, those layer cakes, even your fat quarters. It really helps because there's no fussy cutting or there's no issue trying to cut yardage. I know when I buy yardage, like big yards of fabric, and I'm cutting, it bothers me so much because I have to iron it first. It can have those fold lines. It's very wrinkly. So I definitely like to lean on my pre-cuts, especially when I'm making things fast. I would also recommend grabbing those patterns that you love sewing over and over and over and over again. One of the things that I sew every single year and give as teacher gifts is the Anna wallet from Okla Roots. It is such a great pattern. It is easy to make, and it looks so good in vinyl. It looks good in cork, and you can knock these out in probably 2 hours and have 6 of them done. Then I like to pair it with a gift card to Starbucks or Target or wherever they indicated they like to shop. But that is a great one that I like to lean on. Another great one, especially if you're sewing for men, gentlemen, or boys, boxy bags or DOP kits in a more masculine fabric. I did a DOP kit for my husband with Stormtrooper fabric and black vinyl. and it looks really cool. I also did a DOP kit for my uncle a couple Christmases ago, and I did it in this really pretty navy blue cork. It was absolutely stunning. So projects like that, I know they're not quilts, but they're small projects that you can get done fast and you can do it for a lot of people. They're also great if you're going to be doing craft shows and you want to have some sewn products to sell. Now, getting back to quilting, you could always also do the quilt as you go method, especially if you're going to be quilting coasters or mug rugs. I've even done casserole carriers, which I absolutely love. You go to this, like, oh man, Joanne's, rest in peace. You can buy pre-printed batting for that project. It's the casserole carrier. And you just get a jelly roll, or you can cut the fabric the right sizes. I do believe everything was done in 2.5 inch. And once you sew it, it's done. Quilt as you go is so amazing. And if you go to a Missouri Star Quilt Company, they have the Daisy and Grace templates for quilt as you go hexagons, and they have houses now. I think they have, what else? They have rectangles, squares. They have all the things, but those are really great. It makes everything go really, really fast, especially for those smaller projects like mug rugs and coasters. If you wanted to do a big quilt for someone, even if it's a baby quilt, what you're going to want to do is focus on the straight lines. That is going to get things done faster and easier. You could also do echo curves with echoes. And that just means as you're pushing your quilt underneath your needle through your machine, you're going a little bit left, and then you're curving right, and you're curving right, and you're curving left. And then when you break thread, you start at the bottom again, echo that line. That especially looks good if you're doing waves, like if you're doing a quilt, like an ocean quilt. What you're going to want to do is kind of mark those lines, kind of where you want to start. If you want to space those out like a 1/2 inch apart or an inch apart, plan that ahead of time so you don't stress yourself out in the middle of it. Now, if you're interested in ruler work, if you wanted to get those quilts done with a little bit more custom quilting or even all over quilting with a quilting template, I want you to join my online course, the Quilting with Rulers Academy. In my course, we go over everything from straight lines to curves to points to twists to swirls. We get templates involved. It is so much fun, and it'll basically equip you with the knowledge and confidence in your own skills to be able to quilt that baby quilt in the weekend and bind it during the week. You'll be all set. There will be a link in the show notes below. There's also links on my social media, and there will be an accompanying blog post to this where you can also check out more information. Some time-saving tools when you are going to be doing your Christmas in July projects, especially if you're going to be quilting. You're going to want to get that walking foot ready or your ruler foot ready. You're going to want to get your Microtex needles ready. If you're going to be sewing on cork or vinyl to make bags, grab yourself a denim needle. You could also get grip mats or slip mats on your machine to help you slide through. You're also going to want to get maybe a Teflon foot if you're going to be sewing on clear vinyl. Some of that vinyl tends to stick to our metal feet, so grab a Teflon foot. Other than that, make sure your water glass is full, your snack bowl is filled, and get to having fun. Put on a good show, put on a good podcast, and finish those quilts, finish those projects, and just get ahead of it. Start your sewing. So back to my gear. So I want you to head over to my website, themelaniegrace.com. There's going to be a new blog post, and I'm going to have links to some of those products that I've talked about. They are affiliate links. So you clicking on that link ultimately helps me, and I appreciate it so much. What I want you to do is look at the creative grid rulers that I've listed there, the Silly Moon rulers. I love Silly Moons. They're my favorite product. And you can also get your walking foot or your ruler foot, slip mat and gloves, and I'll put some other great details in there for needles. Sally Tomato has some great products for bag making, cork, vinyl, hardware. So I want to make sure you have that information in front of you as well. So repeat after me. Done is better than perfect. Your family and friends aren't going to care if every stitch is perfect. They're going to love it because you made it. So let's embrace Christmas in July. Let's quilt with joy, not stress, and let the pine-scented candles sip iced coffee and imagine the smile on their faces when they unwrap the handmade gift that you sewed for them. Are you feeling fired up to tackle those UFOs and start your holiday projects? I hope so. If you want more step-by-step guidance, remember, you can learn all my favorite ruler quilting shortcuts inside my Quilting with Rulers Academy. Save time, quilt better, and actually get those gifts done this year. Click the link in the show notes or on my website or on my social media and sign up today. And hey, if you did enjoy this pep talk, please share this episode with a quilty friend, a sewing friend, a bag making friend, and leave me that 5-star review. You know it helps so much. Until next time, quilt fast, quilt smart, and enjoy the Christmas in July magic.